I'm Karen and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do another Top 5 Wednesday, and as this month and last month be quite busy, Samantha basically just suggested that we troll the archive and pick a topic that we either missed or we'd like to revisit. So this week we're talking about books I read before I joined the online book community. Now, I started chatting about books online, I think around 2014. One of my colleagues at work had recommended me to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone? Why can't I say bone? Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. There we go. And after that, I read it, I loved it, and I found Katie Tastic's channel, and so yeah, there we go. And now we're 4 years later, and for the topic I chose, I just had a look at the bookshelves that I have and kind of the books I had lying around. I still have some more back home in Belgium, but of course, as I don't have them here, I just didn't kind of count those. So I just kind of picked 5 of my favorites of the books that I have here that I purchased and read before my blog or YouTube. Book number 1 for today is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I just love this book. I really do. I've read it quite a couple of times actually, and it literally is about following your dreams and really chasing them and going for them, and also how sometimes in life dreams can change and you can change as a person, and there's no shame in that. And so as long as you are happy and content with what you're doing, then you're on the right track. I love the message in this book. I think it's a great book. You can read it quite quickly, it's not that big. The second book on my list for today is The House of Special Purpose by John Boyne. Now, John Boyne is the author of The Boy with the Striped Pajamas, which is the book that most people know him for. However, I haven't read that yet, but I did pick this one up. I actually saw it in Dutch in a bookshop back home first. But I wanted to read it in English because at that time I was mostly reading all my books in English. This is set in 1915 and one of the main characters is a young farmer's boy. So we kind of see his timeline, but then it's also interspersed with the Romanovs and the final weeks before their death. Now, this is historical fiction. I feel like it's a really well-researched and intimate look into what life was like at that time. However, I feel like John Boyne has taken some historical liberties with, you know, historical events, but I still think it's a great book. I love it. I need to reread it. I need to reread all of these basically, but this is one that I haven't read in a while and I really want to. Next on my list for today is a book that I think I've featured on this channel before. I did a series called From the Stacks a while back. I think I only did a couple of videos, and some of these books I think featured, but you know, anyway. The book on my list is The Crimson Petal and the White by Michael Faber. This is a mammoth of a book. It doesn't look huge, but the paper is really thin and it weighs like a ton. It's like Sugar, who is a young woman, and she literally is trying to make a better life for herself. There's also a novel within a novel, which I think is an extra kind of bonus, and I really appreciated that. It can be quite dark at times. It's quite gritty, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great book, and I didn't feel like I was battling myself through the pages. I mean, it's over 130 pages and I didn't feel that long, so I've got to give it to Michael Faber for that one. Definitely want to reread this at some point, because, and also look at the beautiful spot UV on the title. I love a good finish. I'm a sucker for it, just can't help it. Next on my list for today is In the Company of the Courtesan by Sarah Dunant. It starts with the sacking of Rome in the 1500s and then it moves to Venice. And Fiammetta, who is our main character, is a courtesan, and it is about how she, you know, has to change. You know, she had a good life in Rome, but now she's moved to Venice, so she has to kind of start all over again and make a life for herself and then her son. Great story. It feels very vivid to be in Renaissance Italy. Sarah Dunant has done some amazing work researching this book, and I feel like it really shows, because it feels like there's much more behind the scenes that she knows that we don't. Not that big, but I really enjoyed it. Top of the heart for the win. And the final book for today is a book I had to choose because it is one of my all-time favorite books. I know that's a big title to give to this book, and that is Atonement by Ian McEwan. This book made me cry, it made me laugh, it made me so sad, and at the same time really hopeful for humanity. That ending though, Oh my god. I read this before the film came out, as you can see from the not a film poster cover, which I prefer. And actually I've read most of his books. I think I read Solar, Amsterdam, On Chesil Beach, which is actually on my reading list when I did my bachelor's degree. And so I had one oral exam where, yeah, me and my examiner, my professor, we literally just discussed Ian McEwan's work, because she's a big fan as well, which was one of the most fun exams I've ever had. This book, it is just so well done. And I think the film's okay. I think the film's pretty good. I still prefer the book though. I just feel that because there's so much going on mentally and like the interpretation of what you see, I think it's better in the book. But, you know, film's pretty good. So there you have it. Those are some of my favorites from my pre-book community online days. Do let me know down below if there's any of these you'd like to read, and if there are any books that you read before your online community days that you think I should read. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to all of you very soon. Bye.